Hello and welcome! This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Hearts of Iron 4, continuing on with Operation Enduring Francedom, where I attempt to survive as France during World War II. And the war has finally started. As you can see, aircraft overhead, duking it out. I think, as a matter of fact, we can see how that is going. So if I go into the strategic air mode, and we click on a region, we can see what's going on. So our building's bombed. We've got 0.1 damage there. Our fighters lost. We lost 54. It looks like the enemies have not lost any fighters, but they have lost a significant number of bombers, 75 lost. So one of those were shot down by our anti-aircraft guns, and the rest were shot down by our fighters. So our fighters are doing a good job. We are losing a lot of them, though. And it looks like they're all shot down by an air battle. We don't know if that was just against bombers or against fighters as well. How about in southern France? We'll probably get different stats here. All right, so we've lost 20 fighters, and they've lost 8. So that is telling of the outdated aircraft that we have. And this was something that France historically had an issue with coming into the war, but hopefully that's something that we can overcome. I think there's only really one air wing going on over here, too. Oh, one thing I wanted to check. Okay, so this air wing is set up for air superiority. We have more modern aircraft in this fight, which probably will help. Whereas over here, we're using... Well, it actually shows modern aircraft. We can actually see the composition of the fighters here. So it's 50-50. So we may just be losing the older aircraft predominantly. But right now, about 50%, a little bit more than 50% of... Actually, was it more? Okay, so we have slightly more than 50% modern aircraft. But even still, it's possible that Italy, I'm assuming Italy's the one that we're combating here, has slightly better aircraft than us, because if they have air experience, I believe they can modify the aircraft to make them a little bit better. And considering how we just recently generated that, our aircraft are probably going to be a little bit behind, even with more modern ones. We also have a sea combat going on over here. Now, I really don't know how to read this all that well, but it looks like these are our ships over... Well, actually, wait, hold on. These only look like... Okay, so these are the guys involved in the combat. So we have... Oh, okay, we're fighting a convoy, so that shouldn't be too bad. All right. I don't know if there is a summary of sea combat and losses like that, like we've been seeing. All right, well, in any case, I think it's time to start things up. Now, one thing I do want to do over here, and we do have, the enemy does have air superiority both over this sea here, as well as northern France. So that's not great, even though we have most of our fighters, in any case, over northern France. We still do not have air superiority. But the thing I was going to do is I think I'm just going to send these guys moving. I think what they're doing right now is they're waiting for their organization to build up. But we have absolutely no units in between us and our objectives. So I think I'm just going to start sending them along on their way. And if this is a mistake, it's a mistake. Ooh, actually, I want to send both groups of units here. You go as well. Are all 3 units moving? Yes. And like both these guys. There we go. Just make sure everybody's moving. Yep, alright. So they'll just start moving now, I'm assuming. But ground combat has not actually started yet. Ooh, we got something new. Unread naval convoy rating results. Alright, well, let's see what that... All right, so we sank a convoy. Good for us. There were naval bombers involved, it looks like. I don't have fighters to spare over here, though, so I don't know if I can really stop them blowing up my ships. I mean, heck, I'm losing the air superiority battle in a lot of other areas as well. What was the other thing I wanted to look? I read it. Right here. Oh, okay. I had to hit OK for it to go away. All right. And manpower remains low. And we're recruiting. Once these guys pop out, that should be it. I'm actually tempted to We're going to be a ways before we get that political power up, though. So, all right, we'll just let things go as is. Let's see if these guys are actually moving out now. All right, we've got something going on. More naval combat. We'll take a look at that here in a second. All right, so this is... I had a small submarine fleet over here, and they were raiding convoys, I think. All right, here's the combat. So, I guess those are more convoys? Again, submarines? All right. So I don't know if... the naval combat's a little bit harder to keep track of, it looks like. Okay, South Africa has joined in the war. So far, the UK is just sitting in Egypt over there. They're not really engaging. All right, we're starting to move here. We have another naval combat over in the west. And this is more convoys, it looks like. So we're hurting their convoys at the moment. All right, Canada's in the war now. How is things going in Poland right now? The longer Poland holds out, the better. We can actually see the results of the combat here. So red shows that it's not going particularly well. I'm going to assume that's from the side of the Poles, because they're our allies. I'm actually not sure how that would read. Maybe we can see here. Yeah, so the Germans are winning. So, in our case, red is bad for our side, and green is good for our side. So we're winning some combats and we're losing others. I say we, what I mean is the Poles, of course, the Poland. All right. Got another engagement, again against convoys. And we've got some results that we need to take a look at. So we sunk a couple convoys here. Good stuff. So we're possibly hurting Italy by these actions we're doing. And we're gaining our ground. We do have some attrition over here, though. All right, so Australia has joined as well into the alliance. Let's take a look. Ooh, what happened there? All right, so they attacked. Nobody got sunk, it looks like. My fleet should go and repair themselves periodically. All right, we have another naval combat over here. And again, probably convoys. Yep. All right, so we're hurting their convoys pretty well there. Now, one thing I do want to check out is how is the air combat going? So we're continuing to lose fighters at a increased rate. It's worse than 3-1 losses. Over here, we've lost 185 fighters. Geez, we cannot deal with these losses. But the enemies have lost 237 bombers. And we've also been disrupting the bombers quite a bit. So, I mean, it's important to have our fighters up in the air so that they're stopping the bombing, but we're losing them at an incredible rate. When I get this finished, I mean, we'll be able to get more factories and get production working in our favor, but right now, things are not looking good. We're only producing 5 a week, about, and we're losing, it's only been a few days into the war here, and we're losing them. All right, so we've got a combat here. So, I'm going to grab these units and attack into here. We'll attack in multiple directions. All right, we got another naval combat over here. And just more convoys. So the Italian fleet is really not... Outside of, the naval bombers, we are not seeing the Italian fleet pretty much engaging us at all. Also, the Italians have moved a lot of their divisions away. So maybe my push into North Africa has actually done good things for us. As a matter of fact, maybe we should extend some things here with the fleet. So I'm going to grab my different fleets. As a matter of fact, yeah, there we go. We grab these guys, and we'll just extend their orders over there. And I think that's all of our fleet and this section of the Mediterranean. Maybe we'll be able to stop convoys as well. I mean, not convoys, transports that are trying to send troops over to North Africa. And we might be able to wipe out some troops that way. Now, UK should have control over Malta, which will be causing the Italians a lot of grief. Okay. So you guys are heading over into this city. How about I redirect you and have you attack? And you guys, you swing up there, and you swing in there. We'll continue our advance. And look, there are some Italians here. So if we stop this group, they will not get their reinforcements. But we have the British here with some Alpine troops. All right, so North Africa is going okay. I mean, again, they can reinforce here at any time. And we did lose a destroyer. That hurts a little bit. And we have another one over here where we killed some convoys. I want to grab this fleet, and I want to send it down here. Oh, okay, it doesn't let me do that. That's all right. They're on orders. We might not be able to stop the convoy. All right. Looks like we pushed them back. Our combat is going well. Got another naval combat over here now. And let's see what we've got. So, just more convoys, it looks like. The Italians have to be hurting as far as convoys go. And there's us shooting down a bomber. We just arrived in time to see that. Let's see how the air combat is continuing to go. So, losses continue to mount. I think there was a way for me to see actually how many fighters I had, and I'm sure it has dropped dramatically. I think I had close to 700 before things kicked off. But I don't remember where I see my totals. But at this point, that is definitely getting dropped. As we can see here, I am now below 200 fighters in this area, and I used to have a lot more than that. But we have destroyed 300 bombers. Now, the bombers are definitely more expensive than fighters, but with our production rates, that still stings quite a bit. And it's going to come to a point where they've actually shot down so many fighters that we can't really put up an effective defense. Now, over here, we have... things have pretty much remained static. I'm kind of wondering with this air group that's down here. You guys are in northern France. I mean, you're at least acting in northern France. This wing, if I were to send just the fighters over into northern France instead to help with that defense, and I just let this be as it is, because they're not bombing down here. It's just fighter-on-fighter action, as far as I can tell. That might be a mistake, though. I'm not really, not really sure. But we'll just let it go for now, and we'll figure out later if that was a bad decision. We do also have... okay, so torpedo, some more bombers tried to come in and take out my ships. We do have an engagement here. How is that battle still going on? All right. So, again, they have air superiority in a lot of areas, which is not too surprising. They outnumber us significantly. We have another naval combat thing going on here, so trying to torpedo us again. All right, the Italians might have landed troops. Hard to say. Now, I think they have to go to a port, so they would have to go over here in Benghazi. All right, we do see an airfield. Not sure where these guys are moving to. But why are there bombs dropping? Are the British bombing me? Okay, you go there. And where are you going? You're going in there, okay. You go and capture the airfield. And you guys are going in here. All right. Right now, we're outnumbering and surrounding them, so it's going in our favor. How are things going in Poland? Doesn't look like it's moved a whole lot. So that's actually good. That means the Poles are holding out. I mean, granted, time is ticking very slowly here. Oh, we've got a bunch of messages. We'll accept. They're just non-aggression packs pretty much across the board. Or what is this? Send request from Belgium. Is Belgium at war? Take a look at that. No, they're not. Okay, what is it? We'll just see what this says. Belgium wants to send 1 division as volunteers to help us out. Okay, we'll accept that. And I think they're in command of it, not me. Okay. All right, so the Belgians are helping us out. That's a little bit surprising. There is a possibility of me joining the Allies here, but I have to wait until the world tension has gone up. It has to be at 80%. Right now, it's at 54. So probably when Poland falls, it might go up enough. If it doesn't, then we might be in trouble. Although, historically, Germany went after Denmark and then Norway as well. So world tension might be high enough by the time Germany turns on us that we'll be able to join the Allied faction. Now, the one thing, I don't think we can ask for Lend-Lease. We can start it. And, of course, we need every bit of equipment that we have, so we're just going to have to hang on for now. All right, so things are going pretty well in this combat. Let's just take a look at how things are going. So we're attacking from multiple directions. We have air support because we do. But they have enemy air superiority, even though we're not getting a message about it. So they get a slight modifier. But we're getting air support, which is giving us a modifier as well. And we outnumber them. So this is going really well for the most part. And we continue to have combat here. Ooh, this is actual combat. Submarines versus a bunch of submarines, destroyers, and what have you. There are some British close air support, so that should help. Usually one of the best ways to attack submarines is with aircraft. So we're doing good stuff against the Italians, it looks like. Even though I thought the Italians had a better navy than we did. And the Italians have really responded to my push in North Africa by really drawing out a lot of the divisions. They had, I think, over 70 divisions over here at one point, and we've really drawn that out. Now, one thing I do want to check is how things are going over here now. So they're starting to bomb us, which is not great. So I probably do want to recall that unit and put it in southern France instead. So I'm going to do that. And another thing I should probably do is I should prioritize the units for reinforcements that are in the north, because they're the ones taking the worst losses here. So let's continue with that. And I think I have another group of fighters up here. These guys are going to get prioritized for reinforcements, because this is where a lot of the combat's going on. Speaking of the combat, how is it going? Buildings continue to get bombed. It's starting to rack up. Fighters lost is really mounting here. We're continuing to destroy bombers, but not at the rate we were doing earlier on in the war. So we are losing a lot of fighters, and it's really starting to hurt. Once I get my political power up enough, probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to change my conscription, which is going to give us a number of things. I'd like to do extensive conscription, which comparatively here. All right, so we have more training time with that, though. But it gives us a lot more recruitable population, because right now, manpower... Well, we're not getting that manpower low statement anymore. You know what? Screw it. Just do this infinitely, so that we continue to get infantry. All right, so how is our push going? Pretty well. I hadn't really planned to go beyond this city here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to probably hold back some troops to defend it. So who doesn't have a lot of organization out of this group? Probably this guy here. So we'll have you go back to Tripoli. You 2 troops coming this way. Now my cavalry is kind of low on organization and strength, so we're probably going to let them just kind of hang out for the meantime. And you drive into there. And that'll be good for now. We'll just kind of hold off. Let them reorganize. How's this combat going? We're getting more and more ships involved. But it's mostly just submarines. Got a naval combat up here. So, interestingly enough, the Italians had convoys all the way up here. So our naval bombers and our patrol and destroyer group here is doing good work. Where are they right now? I'd like to grab them, but I don't actually see where they are on the map. Guess I could just grab them this way. I know you guys don't have a commander. The reason why is I actually wanted to merge them together. Where the heck are you? Oh, well. Do we have any extra admirals? Oh, okay, they're not in a port, so never mind. All right, we'll just let them go. That's not really that high priority of an area. I put admirals on everyone else. Okay, so what do we got here? These guys are still retreating. How are things going? We continue to get more and more ships in that combat. Poland is still holding out. They'll be at Warsaw soon, though. And how are we changing things over here with the air combat? So they should be covering. I don't really see a change in stats, though. How are the construction stuff going on? So we've got a lot of damage that we have to repair. It looks like they repair them maybe themselves. Yeah, so they repair themselves on their own, but if we assign them factories, it would happen quicker. Well, I definitely need more anti-aircraft defense, I think, because right now we're getting owned, although the anti-aircraft defense doesn't seem like it does a whole lot for me. I think we're just going to let things go as they are right now, though. Well, it doesn't hurt to queue it up, though, so grab that. I would like some... I think I'm just going to reinforce everything by 1 that already has stuff. And then this area and this area, I'd like to have some air defense. And we're going to come in and add 1 to that. And then all this stuff has to go down to the bottom. Actually, there we go. May will get taken care of on its own, as I said. There we go. Get some more defenses out there. All right. Continue. Got another naval combat over here. All right. And we have one down here. So they continue to attack me with aircraft. I did lose a submarine. Wow. More action going on here, so we're sinking more convoys. Like, constantly sinking convoys at this point. Alright. How's our recruitment going? Almost done, so we'll have 3 divisions soon. Alright, let's take a look at the action down here. I'm going to micromanage this while... Oh, you're staying there. I wonder if the commander's trying to... You know what? I'll take you out of the command group. That way, the commander will stop trying to drag you. Okay. So we've got a combat action there. Why don't I push these guys down here and bring this guy into that combat there. And then when these guys arrive, we'll attack. I'm going to let the cavalry rest because they are low in organization and they need to get some troops as well. And then when these guys arrive, got more combat going on. So this is probably another group of convoys. Oh, there we see some Italian troops. So they're starting to bring guys in here. And they're coming from the naval base over here. So it'll be a while before they get to us. But we're going to want to build up defenses sometime soon. As a matter of fact, I might want to rebase these guys. So, right now, we're going to remove air wing. And remove air wing. And we'll set up some more air wings here. So we'll put all that equipment there and all that equipment. Oh, I guess they can't. All right, well, let's just back that off. Put that in there. Okay. Close. They're getting rebased. And at the moment, we do not really have any air combat going on down here, to the point that I am almost thinking about just letting those fighters sit in reserve, and they'll go up here to reinforce, I think. So that might be a good move. All right, here come the Italians. All right, I have to tell these guys to move in on here. All right, they've already been taken care of. All right, I think it's time to set up a battle line. And okay, I only want this guy, and I'll send him down there. So we'll just kind of have this area, and we'll just sit there and entrench. As a matter of fact, I want to get rid of that, and we'll make a new line here. When they move. So once they're done with the move, we'll make that new line. How's this going? Okay. Okay. So now we can make that new front. And we'll paint it like so. And that will be your defensive front. And then your fallback line will be here. Okay. So they're ready for defense. You know what? I'll cancel that order. I don't know if I did that correctly or not. All right. Okay, we've got more naval combat. Ooh, this is looking a little bit more scary, but we have a lot of planes involved in this one. All right, so how's the air war going? So we're continuing to lose fighters here, but they're losing bombers. And we're disrupting some of their bombers. How are things going up here? All right, continue to mount here. And they have a lot of bombers lost. All right, so we've got more stuff going on. All right, more non-aggression packs. Which is fine with me. All right, Poland's starting to get pushed back. They're getting close to Warsaw, so it might not be too much longer. Oh, here comes the Italians. I don't want you down there. All right, so they have a lot of numbers here, so this is going to be rough. We advanced while we could. We could have swore I moved bombers over here. There we go. And you are going to... I must have messed that up. Because I could have swore I sent bombers over here. And they will be ready on the 22nd. Alright, we got a bunch of naval battles going on. Mostly destroyers versus submarines. And then over here, we got convoys getting blown up. Alright, kids, I think that's a good point to put a cut in the video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.